Hi friends, and welcome back to another video. For today, we are going to be looking into another sort of paranormal, creepy type of video. Really enjoying making this type of creepy content lately. And today is going to be about the island of Dolls, which is a place in Mexico that has a number of old and ratty looking dolls hanging from the trees. There are like thousands of them, and this place is said to harbor a lot of paranormal activity. The island of Dolls is located on a small area of land that was created for agricultural purposes on shallow lake beds in the channels of Xochimilco, Mexico, just south of Mexico City. It's become a popular tourist attraction, obviously due to the presence of thousands of dolls amongst the trees. And the island harbors superstitions as well, with some rowers who take tourists to different locations being afraid of taking these tourists to the island of Dolls because of the legend that this island holds. The dolls were placed throughout the island by the owner Don Julian Santana Barrera in the 1950s, who was a vegetable farmer. It's been said that he left his family to go live by himself on this island, and nobody really knows why, but some say he was not in the best state of mind. Barrera also believed that these dolls would help to keep a spirit of a young girl who drowned in the area a long time ago away from his island. It's been said that the girl became tangled in some lilies around the island and ended up drowning, with her body eventually ending up on the banks of the island. Barrera was not able to save this girl, and probably in his guilt of not being able to do so, began to hear the voice of this little girl asking for her doll. Later on, he found a doll head floating in the water and decided to hang it up in the tree to sort of pay respect to the girl who drowned, believing that this was a sign from her. So then Barrera, who was horrified by the fact that a little girl had drowned so close to his home, and then seeing this floating doll head come by him, followed by him hearing her disembodied voice, Barrera began to collect a number of dolls that he would find either in the garbage or just in canals, even trading some of the vegetables that he grew in exchange for more dolls, where he would hang them up in trees, keep them in his cabin, just have them all over the place in the hopes that this would keep the little girl's spirit at bay and keep him safe. Over the next 50 years, Barrera would hang more and more dolls within the trees on the island as the whispers and the footsteps in the dark began to increase. He wanted to appease this little girl's spirit and was scared of what would happen if he stopped hanging up the dolls. Those who knew Barrera well said that he appeared as though he was possessed in his quest to hang up as many dolls as he could, that it was as though some unseen force had started to overtake him. During this time as well, Barrera would travel to the neighboring areas to sell his vegetables and partake in pulque, which is an alcoholic drink made from fermented agave, and as his fears and superstitions regarding the spirits on his island grew, he apparently began preaching the Bible around town, and this got to be so frequent that the town banned him, condemning him to remain on his island. And these dolls are terrifying. It might not be so bad if they were brand new dolls, but they're not. They are very old, some are missing heads, some are missing eyes, missing limbs, and it leaves this quiet island with a sense of foreboding, making one feel as though the dolls are watching them from above. Some visitors to the island have noted that the dolls will move on their own, no wind present or anything, with the dolls moving their heads and opening their eyes. Others have sworn to have heard the dolls whisper conversations to one another, with others saying that while on the lake, the dolls have beckoned to them, luring them toward the island. However, Barrera actually died of a heart attack in 2001, and it's been speculated that he was right near the place where the girl drowned when the heart attack occurred, with his spirit said to be joining the other spirits on the island. In 1987, when a rescue operation was underway to rescue a tourist, it was discovered that the island had been covered in water lilies, and since it was just an incredibly peculiar sight to see, movies had been made there, TV shows have done segments on it, and articles have been written about this island. A museum has also been documenting the coverage and popularity that this island has received over the years in the media, as well as information about Barrera. There are 3 rooms and a store, with a bedroom holding the first doll that Barrera ever obtained, as well as his favorite doll, named Augustina, and he would dress these dolls in his cabin with headdresses and sunglasses and other accessories. And as more and more people began to hear about this elusive island, visitors began getting curious and made their way to the island to see what all the fuss was about, with Barrera eventually charging these visitors a fee in order to take a look around his island, and even gave a guided tour. But there are those, including Barrera's family, who believed that he completely made up this entire story about the little girl drowning, driven mad by being by himself so often, and fabricated her entire story of her death because there didn't appear to be any evidence that there was ever a little girl who'd washed up ashore who drowned. And if he didn't make it up, they believed that he was just so far in his delusions that he actually thought he was being haunted. But either way, Barrera remained committed to hanging up these dolls in their various states of dismemberment and quality. People who visit the island have left offerings to appease the spirits they believe haunt this island, though the locals refer to the island as being charmed as opposed to haunted, hoping to appease the spirits enough with their offerings to receive blessings and good fortune. Others even see the dolls as something akin to a religious symbol, changing the clothes of the dolls occasionally and upkeeping them as a sign of worship. But I will say, looking at reviews on TripAdvisor as early as the beginning of this year, people have said that it's not even really worth visiting the island, that it's really just a bunch of weather-worn dolls nailed to trees and hung up in the trees with people trying to sell you things, though apparently the boat ride to the island is very peaceful. But of course there are people who have very much enjoyed their trip to the Island of Dolls who either found it peaceful or really creepy. Apparently it's really expensive to go and visit the island, like $80, and you have to pay to take pictures as well. But I mean, I think there's something to be said about the creep factor of a lot of old looking dolls hung from the trees. Like, it kind of messes with that picture of childhood innocence that you associate with dolls. So seeing them in bad shape, looking like little babies who have been hung from the trees, I would assume that would be pretty jarring to see. Currently, Barrera's nephew Anastasio is the caretaker of the island from a distance, as he lives elsewhere, and the Island of Dolls is considered to be quite a popular Halloween destination. But that is it for today's video. What do you guys think about the Island of Dolls? Do you think that it is actually haunted, or do you think it's more of just a tourist attraction with a bit more of an embellished story? I don't know where I stand on it. I'm a big believer in the idea of who am I to say what's haunted and what's not, especially if I've never actually been there. But I think it's a very creepy island with an interesting backstory, so I thought it would be a fun video to make. So regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you are new to my channel, please be sure to give this video a like and subscribe if you've not already. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.